Welcome to Housing After 60. I am Charles Odell. On this site, we analyze the math and the reality of senior housing to find your best options. Let's get started.
Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. I'm Scott.
And I'm Chuck. And today, we're digging into how to get your manufactured home ready for a really profitable sale in 2026. This is all based on our latest research over at mobilehomefriend.com.
And Chuck, you've got a pretty strong opinion on where sellers absolutely have to start, don't you?
Oh, I sure do, Scott. The stakes here are just incredibly high, and it all comes down to the paperwork. Before you even think about new paint or fancy floors, you have to get this in your head. The legal stuff is the absolute bedrock of a good sale. Without it, well, you're going nowhere fast.
Okay, so let's jump right in. We've broken this whole process down into 4 key parts for you. First, we're going to cover that legal foundation Chuck is so passionate about.
You bet.
Then we'll get into that big question. Should you sell as is or should you fix it up? After that, we'll talk about the smart repairs, the ones that actually put more money back in your pocket.
And to wrap it all up, we're going to show you how to spot and avoid those sneaky deal killers that can wreck everything at the last minute.
So Chuck, let's kick things off with that legal foundation. You know, a lot of sellers, their first instinct is to make the home look pretty. Why are you so adamant that the paperwork is way more important than how the place looks?
Because at its core, selling a manufactured home isn't a design project. It's a risk mitigation exercise. You're not really selling siding and windows. What you're actually selling is a legal document. It's either a title, like for a car, or a deed, like for a traditional house. And let me tell you, the 2026 buyer values transparency way more than cosmetics. They might forgive an old countertop, but a messy title? No way. That's a deal breaker.
And this really breaks down the 2 worlds you could be living in. If your home's in a park, it's almost certainly personal property. It's treated just like a vehicle with a title from the DMV. And that means your buyers are looking at chattel loans, which can have interest rates that are 3, even 4% higher. That's a huge deal.
Right. Whereas if you own the land and the home is properly affixed, it becomes real property. Now it qualifies for regular mortgages with much better rates. And that one single difference determines your entire universe of potential buyers.
And we're not talking about a small difference in price here. The financial impact is massive. Our research shows that going through the process to convert your home from personal to real property can boost the sale price by $30,000, or honestly, even more. That's the whole ballgame right there. Making that one move can open the floodgates to a huge pool of buyers who use FHA and VA loans. We're talking about potentially increasing your market by like 400%. It's a game changer.
So before you lift a paintbrush, you need to do this title on it. These questions might seem simple, but they are absolutely critical. A name that's not an exact match, a missing second title for a double wide, or an old forgotten lien. Let me tell you, these are the #1 reasons deals completely fall apart in the final week. As we've laid out on the Mobile Home Friend website, getting this right at the start will save you a world of hurt.
All right, so let's assume the legal paperwork is all buttoned up. Now sellers hit that next big fork in the road. Do you pour money into fixing the place up, or do you just sell it as is? And there's only one number that should guide that decision. It's not the sale price, it's your net proceeds. This is the actual cash that ends up in your bank account after every single cost is paid. Every decision you make has to be seen through the lens of this one number. Nothing else matters.
Exactly right. You have to put on your investor hat. And the math is actually really simple. If you spend $5,000 on the right repairs, and that lets you raise the price by $15,000, well, that's a $10,000 net gain. That's a 3 times return on your money.
You do that deal all day, every day, but if that return isn't there, you sell it as is and you don't look back.
And believe me, there are definitely situations where selling as is the smartest play. I mean, if you're looking at huge problems like a rusted out frame or floors that are sinking, you're probably selling to an investor anyway, and they don't care about the new kitchen faucet you put in. They're just going to rip it out. In cases like that, spending money on cosmetic stuff is literally just throwing it away. Okay, so on the flip side, let's say a seller runs the numbers and the repairs do make perfect financial sense. Chuck, where should they be putting their money to get that maximum return on their investment?
First things first, forget everything you see on those TV renovation shows. Seriously, stop dreaming about granite countertops. The buyer in the 2026 economy is practical. They're worried about their monthly budget. What they really want is to know their utility bills aren't going to be sky high and that they won't have a giant to-do list the day they move in.
You know, what I love about this list is just how practical these items are. Take that waterproof, luxury vinyl plank flooring. It's a total game changer. It looks fantastic, sure,
But more importantly, it protects that crucial subfloor from any future water damage.
Absolutely. And good solid skirting doesn't just make the home look better from the curb, it protects the entire underbelly. A fresh roof coating buys a buyer peace of mind about leaks. These aren't flashy upgrades, but they solve real problems and address what buyers are actually worried about.
And then you've got this list, the absolute non-negotiables. These are the things you gotta do. A deep clean is a must. And if you feel any soft spots in the floor, you have to replace that subfloor with real 3/4-inch CDX plywood. Do not use OSB. That stuff is just wood chips and glue, and it'll swell up at the first sign of moisture.
That's right. And making sure the home is level and that belly wrap is tight and secure, you're addressing those deep down fears buyers have about the home structure. If you want the full technical breakdown on how to tackle these, check out the post on mobilehomefriend.com.
This is a perfect lead-in to our final section, avoiding the deal killers. We're talking about those hidden problems that might look totally fine to you, but they can completely torpedo a sale when an inspector or an insurance agent gets involved. And without a doubt, the #1 deal killer we see time and time again is polybutylene piping. It's this flexible gray-colored pipe that was used in a ton of homes from the late 70s all the way to the mid-90s. The problem is the material gets brittle and is notorious for failing without warning. In 2026, you'll be hard-pressed to find an insurance company that will even write a policy for a home that has it.
And that's the key, right? No insurance means no loan. And no loan means no deal. It's that simple.
So, if you find this stuff in your home, what do? Here's the playbook. First, identify if you have it. Check under your sinks, near the water heater. Second, call a plumber and get a real quote to have it all replaced with modern PEX pipe.
And then you've got a choice. You can either pay to have the work done before you list the home, or you can be totally transparent. Disclose the problem and give that plumber's quote to every single potential buyer. It shows you're not hiding anything, and it actually builds a ton of trust.
So really, this checklist brings it all together. This is the entire process. You start with phase 1, the legal audit. Title first, always. Then you move to phase 2, the big mechanical and structural systems. And only after all of that is solid do you even think about phase 3, which is presentation, the paint and lights.
As we've noted on the site, if you follow this exact order, you are setting yourself up for the smoothest and most profitable sale possible. It is the key to success.
So it all comes down to this one crucial question you have to ask yourself. Is your home truly prepared for the 2026 market? Don't just throw it on the market and hope for the best. Run the audit, face the issues head on, and you'll be in the perfect position to get a top dollar sale. Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to mobilehomefriend.com. And don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Your peace and enjoyment in retirement depends on the right housing strategy. Visit housingafter60.com for our full analysis and cost transparency guides. I will see you in the next video.